Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my show. This is going to be my spoiler filled review for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 4. If you have not caught the previous episodes, please go watch the show and then come back and we can discuss it together, or you can go through my video. If you have seen the show and you've seen the previous episodes as well, please hang around because I have a very deep dive and spoiler filled review into this particular episode. This is the one that actually sold me on watching the show. Hi, and welcome back. This is Luis Ortega with Luis Ortega, my YouTube channel. If you like, please, before we get started, like, subscribe, and comment below. Obviously, anything that you can provide as far as comments or feedback are very important to me and go a long way to helping me make a better show for everyone. This is going to be, again, a spoiler-filled review for episode 4 of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, I haven't made a previous Falcon and the Winter Soldier video because, to be honest with you, up until last week, I wasn't 100% sold on the show. The first couple of episodes of the show were good, but they were not Wanda level good. I hate to say it, but WandaVision kind of caught me pretty much from the very first episode. I was hooked onto what was happening. And this show, the first 1.5, 2 episodes, I wasn't really sure where it was going. And, I really wasn't going to do a lot of deep dive. I didn't want to know a lot about the show, so I wasn't going online and trying to find predictions or spoilers or conspiracy theories about what might happen, what is going to happen, so forth and so on. And so far, like I said, the first 2 episodes didn't sell me. The third episode really did capture my imagination more than any of the previous episodes. And then this episode really, I think, this episode in particular is possibly the best episode of any, not that there's been that many Marvel series, but of any episodic show that so far we've seen from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This particular episode was the best. And this episode definitely sold me on sticking around to find out how things are going to conclude. Needless to say, there's certain aspects of the show that I enjoy. There's certain aspects of the show that I was sold on very quickly. And, it's crazy, but I didn't think Marvel could do it 2 shows in a row. Marvel has been, for lack of a better word, they've been pissing excellence for like close to a decade now. And at some point, you always have this hesitation, like, oh, this is the one. This is the one where they're gonna fumble. They're gonna fumble, and that's me. Maybe I'm a little bit of a pessimist, but I'm getting to the point now where you just can't doubt Kevin Feige, and you can't doubt the creative people at Disney, specifically like the people that work in the Marvel part of Disney. They just keep, just pissing excellence. And this show, again, I wasn't sold on it in the beginning, but now they've got me hooked, and I'm going to stick around. I need to find out how things go for everybody, for Bucky, for Sam. I'm even invested in Nemo because I think they've actually taken Zemo. They've taken a character that, I'll be very honest with you, in Captain America: Civil War, he was kind of a generic, like, bad guy of the week. And the only thing you knew about his backstory is that his wife and family were killed during the events of Age of Ultron. And now he wants revenge on superpowered beings or the Avengers or so forth. And that was it. He was very close to almost like a twirling mustache bad guy where, you're not invested in them. They're definitely nothing like a Thanos or someone that you really get invested in. And now, I'll be honest with you, I think that this particular character of Zemo is probably the best thing that Daniel Bruhl has put on paper. Daniel Bruhl has really been killing it on this show, and it just goes to show how great an actor he is and how great it is to have an actor of his caliber. Not to say that everyone else in the show isn't great actors, but let's be honest. He's an Academy level actor. I've seen him in motion pictures where I'm like, wow, this guy is an amazing actor. I would love to see him in more stuff. And then you see him pop up in a comic book IP, and we take it for granted now, but 10 years ago, somebody like him would avoid a comic book IP like the plague, because you didn't want to be associated with comic books. You didn't want to be associated with that because it was looked down upon. Now you take for granted that all these wonderful veteran actors and actresses and people that have been around forever and have won awards, multiple awards, some of them, and now they're all clamoring to try to get into these episodes and into these shows and into these movies. It really goes to show you how great things have gone, at least for us, for fandom. It can only get better from here. Obviously, this show started out, this particular episode started out where we left off last week, and that was with Bucky and Ayo discussing the fact that they want back Zemo. Obviously, Zemo killed T'Chaka, which is King T'Challa's father in Civil War. And Wakanda has a long memory, and Wakanda does want revenge. This is the guy that killed their king, and she's part of the royal guard, and their entire existence revolved around protecting the king. And unfortunately, this particular gentleman killed their king. So even though some of us are starting to sympathize with him, he still has a debt to pay to Wakanda, and Wakanda wants to collect. Let's be very honest; they definitely want to collect, and they're going to collect. I don't know when or how, but they're definitely going to collect. I hope that this dynamic continues, because later on in the show, when they get into the big fight with the faux Captain America, Captain Crunch America, and with Bucky and Sam, I mean, the Dora Milaje are a serious force to be reckoned with. I mean, 3 of them alone took down one super soldier pretty much in Bucky, took down the Falcon, took down the faux Captain America. I mean, they decimated them in seconds. Like, they didn't have a chance in the world. And I think even if he had taken the super serum earlier, I think they still would have destroyed Johnny Walker. His name's John Walker. I call him Johnny Walker because I need to drink every time I see him on screen with the Captain America shield and outfit, because I need to get drunk to accept that. And even if I'm drunk, I'm not going to accept it. This is I understand why they're doing this. It's almost like Marvel is trolling us by presenting us this horrible version of a Captain America, because they know terrorist organization, and try to how can I say it? Like, try to bring down the tension or bring down de-escalate the situation. And obviously the faux Captain America just escalated the situation, just made it so much worse. There's nothing that can be said. I mean, this guy right here, over here, this guy right here is just, he's everything that Marvel wants us to think he is, and they are 100% trolling us with this character. And it's cool. I actually like the fact that they're trolling us. But this image right here, represents what's going to end up being a major change in how society as a whole looks at all the superheroes. The same way that you think about Captain America standing in front of the entire army of Thanos and strapping up his broken shield and ready to alone be willing to die to protect the earth. That's an iconic image, and that sets an image for what a superhero is. This image is setting a precedent for what a superhero could become, because anybody on any given day can become a bad guy if you have a bad enough day. And this dude right here had like the worst day ever. He got his ass kicked multiple times. He got an opportunity to take some super soldier serum. He took advantage of that opportunity, and then it ended up costing him his best friend's life, the only guy that really stood by him, to be honest with you. And now he's kind of lost his shit, and he just committed murder in front of an audience. I mean, there were so many people just standing there with camera phones and recording everything. And this is going to cause a major shift, like a paradigm shift within the MCU, because now the entire world has seen somebody who's supposedly a Captain America kill someone. Now, the rest of the world doesn't know that he's taken the super soldier serum at this point, but he still represents Captain America. He still represents that code of Captain America. And it's, I'm really interested now. And again, this episode sold me on watching the next few episodes, because now I'm 100% invested in what's going to happen. What is this situation going forward? How are things going to pan out for our team, for this guy, for everybody? I do think that it's going to end up being either the U.S. government is going to just rescind him or what do they call it? Disavow him as Captain America and take the shield and everything. But actually, at this point, I don't think he'd be willing to give that shield up without a fight. So Sam and Bucky are definitely in for a fight at some point. One of the things I really loved about this episode was Sam. Some of the things that he did in this episode, and some of them are small things, but the conversation that he had with the leader of the terrorist organization was really great. It was really grounded in reality, and he also expressed understanding of what she's doing. It's just, sometimes, again, the best bad guys are the bad guys that believe that they're doing what they're doing. They're good guys in their mind. In the terrorist mind, she's a good guy. She's trying to save the little person. She's just going about it in the wrong way. And that's what Sam is trying to, explain to her is, I understand why you're doing what you're doing. And I believe in what you're doing, but I don't believe in the way you're going about doing it. And that's what separates a true hero from a villain is, how you go about achieving your goal is as important as achieving your goal. And obviously, if you look at a true hero, someone like Steve, the real Captain America, Steve was a guy that was chosen not because he had powers, but because he didn't have powers. And he knew what it was like to be an underdog and be the weak person. And he has sympathy for the weak person. He understands that with power, just like with every superhero, does come great responsibility. That's what separates a superhero from a supervillain, is how you use these great abilities that you're given. Steve used them and always tried to use them for right, even if sometimes his right in the eyes of others might be wrong. History is filled with people that have started out with good intentions and ended up, as villains. Some of them were villainous to begin with. Don't get me wrong. There's some horrible people in this world that started out horrible, had a horrible idea, executed the idea, still a horrible idea, and yeah, they were villains from beginning to end. But there are people that started out as good guys and ended up as bad guys. And there were people that people believed were bad guys and actually ended up good guys. So this is the dynamic that they're really selling us on is, these terrorists, one person's terrorist is one person's freedom fighter. If you really think about it, several hundred years ago here in the U.S., we had a revolution against what we said were the tyranny of the English. Those people at that time were looked as terrorists. They were anarchists. They were trying to break away from the British government. But we here in the U.S., we celebrate their birthdays. And some of them were elected to office. George Washington, who was one of the leaders in the revolution, he ended up becoming our first president. So again, one person's terrorist, one person's freedom fighter. One person's anarchist is one person's revolutionary. And this is great. This is a great dynamic that they're putting in front of us, especially at this time that we're living in history. There's a lot of political strife all over the world, and everybody's trying to position themselves as a good guy, but not everybody's a good guy. And some of the people that are good guys don't really come across as good guys. And some of the people that are being portrayed as bad guys, some of them are bad, don't get me wrong, but some of them are, have a reason for being that way. So we have to discuss it. And that's why I really like the fact that Sam tried to talk her down, because, he's trying to be diplomatic about it. Whereas the faux Johnny Walker, Red, Captain America have 2 shots every time he shows up on a screen to try to pacify yourself to accept him. He's more about the fact that he sees power for what power is worth. Power is worth what you can use that power for. And he's taking advantage of the power. And once he takes the serum, now we right away see, this guy goes from like, I want to be a superhero, I want to do right, to now he's abusing the power that he has. And, yes, he killed a terrorist. So, I'm not shedding any tears. The guy that he killed blew up a building with people. Even if he didn't really want to do it, he did it. So the guy's a bad guy. Did the guy deserve to get his head smashed in or his chest smashed in with a shield? Yeah, maybe he did. But it's a bad look for Captain America to smash somebody's body in with the shield and then stand there with a bloody red, white, and blue shield. Like, it's a bad look, man. The U.S. government has got a serious PR nightmare at the moment inside of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm looking forward for the next episode. I think it's going to be another great episode, or at least I hope it is. I want to see exactly where things go. I hope that Zemo becomes a somewhat active player in the MCU. I want to see Daniel Bruhl continue on in this character. I really love it. I'll be very honest with you. These 3 guys right here are what make this show, for me, worth coming back. Each of these guys brings something dynamic to the table. Their way of acting, their characters, their portrayal of their characters. Like, we saw some amazing acting in this past episode. The beginning of the show when Bucky is proving that he's been able to break the programming. Like, if you watch the pain that he has in his eyes when they're reading off the list of words that would normally activate the Winter Soldier, when you see the pain in his eyes, I was like, wow, this guy's acting his ass off. This is like a master class in acting. Absolutely, a master class in acting. So all of these guys are doing an incredible job holding their own. And, again, we will see what happens next week. If you like this video, please, please, please leave a comment below. Click like, click dislike. It's up to you. Or subscribe. And also, if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer on a future show, you can email them to me at luisortega@luisortega.com. That's LOUISORTEGA @LOUISORTEGA.com. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you all soon again.